Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wednesdays with Whitney. I'm Whitney, and today my illustrious guest is Brittney Ledford with One Sweet Kitchen. Yay!
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Yay! And so we are going to be talking all about sweet treats, mostly cookies and pies. And also all of the things that led up to lots and lots of cookie and pie baking.
Yes.
Yes, awesome. So Brittney and I were trying to figure out how we met. This is now like 2.5 years into me living in Des Moines. I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, I have no idea. But we definitely met through Fem City,
yes.
Right? Okay. And then do you have any recollection of our first meeting?
I don't know where it was, but I know I walked up to you and was like, oh my God, you're like Des Moines famous.
And I was probably horrified.
Super weird thing to say to a person, but
I'll take it. I will take it. So since then, Brittney and I have just like been to a lot of Fem City events together. Brittney tends to show up with really delicious cookies that I eat an insane amount of, and really don't feel guilty because I'm supporting a fellow business owner.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. So some of the events, I was just thinking about all the events that I've actually been able to eat your cookies at. Definitely a few Fem City events. Just the Pure Bar event.
Yeah.
We did a brand launch event that she did cookies for. That's just to name like a few. There's and the Kneeling Cat. Kneeling Cat cookies.
Rachel's studio.
Yep. So like they're everywhere, and I'm loving them. If you haven't seen, Brittney, can we do a little Facebook scroll so people can see some of the cookies? So wait, where did you? These are ones you dropped off today, right?
Yes. Those
So
are
what's
out
the story
of the
here?
Catch Des Moines Celebrity Golf Classic this morning.
Gosh. Vader, loving it. Sorry, just
These are all on Instagram at One Sweet Kitchen. Probably the easiest place to find the cookies if you want to look at them. There's also pies.
Look at these. These are so cute. These are love pie,
Yes.
love cookies.
Rehearsal dinner cookies.
Love cookies. So awesome, Brittney.
Yes, Whitney. Ooh, that rhymes.
I like it. What's your first baking memory ever?
My first baking memory ever. Well, I definitely remember standing on a chair next to my mom at our house in Adel because I was not tall enough to reach the counter. And I've just been baking ever since. My grandpa's really liked pie, so for Father's Day, I remember using whipped cream to pipe out Happy Father's Day on a pie, which looking back
cream?
for like a 10-year-old, that's like pretty...
That's spot on. You gotta have some talent
this is
for
all
that.
written in the stars, I
So
think.
you've been piping for a while now.
Yes.
Okay. Because I have a feeling if I tried to do this, it would be an epic disaster.
You gotta start somewhere. I'm sure it didn't look great. I just did it, and they were like, "Oh, that's
No,
adorable."
you were born.
That's true.
Being able to pipe.
Yeah, it's a very strong wrist.
Is that what it takes?
Probably.
Okay.
Just determination, a lot of time.
I love
a lot
that.
Of free time.
So do all of the women in your family bake, or do all the people? I don't know who.
It was mostly women. I remember my great grandma telling me you should start off with all your ingredients on one side of the bowl and then move them as you use them to the other side, so that if a friend calls and you get to chatting and you forget what you put in the bowl, you can look down and see what ingredients you've used.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because I recently had an issue with baking. This week I was baking chocolate chip cookies, so I got my mom's recipe. So I moved into this house, right?
Yeah.
And for me, you know, home like means chocolate chip cookies, and my
Me
mom was
too.
always making them. And I know they're Brittney's favorite, and nobody ever makes her cookies because she makes cookies. So I was like, I'm gonna make her cookies. So anyway, I made Brittney cookies. They're in this bag. But here's the deal. Here you go. I'm gonna make you taste one live. So I had several issues while I was baking these. My first issue is that I was making several batches at one time, and I ended up putting, can I have one too?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a gift that I gave to her.
before you-
I ended up putting an additional amount of sugar in that I should not have. And so I was like, these are the good batch. But like I was trying to like scoop it out. And so my question is, if you end up with the wrong ingredient in there, do you scoop it out, or is it just like sugar and flour, they get in there, they get mixed in?
Yeah.
So do you start all over? Do you scoop it out? What do you do? What's protocol?
Really depends how badly you messed up.
Oh, pretty bad.
You know. And also who they're for, what your end product is. If you were to sell those, maybe don't.
Yeah.
But if you're like, they're for me,
Yeah.
as long as you like how they taste,
I
or
love
they
how they
taste
taste.
good crumbled over ice cream, who cares?
See, I liked the crumbled over ice cream
Would
solution.
be excellent.
Right?
With or without ice cream.
So I think my mom does these perfectly. I'm still working up to her level of perfection. but I think they've got good texture. And pretty dang
And
good
you're using
flavor.
good chocolate.
Oh yeah.
I do not like milk chocolate in a chocolate chip cookie. I need a little dark, a little semi-sweet.
Yep. So my other question about chocolate chip cookies is the melting of the chips. So I refrigerated these overnight, the dough overnight.
Did you? Because you have all butter.
No,
Is it
butter
shortening?
and Crisco.
Okay.
So it's half and half. But do the chocolate chips, like, how do we get them so they don't melt everywhere? Does that always happen?
No.
Can they
That
not?
really shouldn't.
Okay, they're happening. That's happening. The chocolate chips are melting.
No, like when it's hot out of the oven and you can like gooze, that's good. But once it's cooled, you shouldn't be having just chocolate.
Yeah, that's happening. So.
All right, we'll have to troubleshoot that.
So we're gonna troubleshoot that. Anyway, baking with Brittney, eating with me.
With Brittney.
So, how long have you been baking for money?
For money, I worked at a bakery a little bit after college, and when I left there, I had friends, family members, new co-workers being like, "But can you still bake these stuff?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, I can."
I guess for free or for pennies. And eventually, people would tell other people, and I was getting phone calls or emails because I was like, maybe I should name this thing One Sweet Kitchen. Get a Gmail account from people I didn't know. And that's when I was like, I have to like get firm on my pricing, and it was still back in the day I was charging.
How long ago was this?
That was the question. 2014, 2015.
Oh, that's been quite a while.
Yeah.
You've been baking, and during that time you were working at Mosaic, part of that time anyway.
Yep.
Which is like a huge passion of yours.
Yeah, Mosaic in Central Iowa serves adults with intellectual disabilities, and
Look at her face when she talks about it. I love it.
Because I got to go see some of the people that we served last week. So I was doing nonprofit development at Mosaic, but baking on the side, and it kept growing. And I was like, I'm not going to leave my job. I'm not going to leave the people that we serve. Yeah. But then I was clearly the baking was my passion, and I was working 2 full-time jobs. So I was like, I just kind of have to go for it and make the leap, because obviously I can still visit the people we serve, volunteer, and then maybe incorporate baking to help the people that we serve at Mosaic.
Which I think that's one of the best things about being a small business owner, is that you're able to use your time and talent to contribute to the causes that you love the most. And that was one of the first things that I learned about you, actually, was about Mosaic. I think I learned that you were a baker, and then I also learned about Mosaic, because when I met you, you were still there.
Yeah.
So you just recently took the leap.
I did.
Tell me about that.
May 4th was my last day at Mosaic. For many, many months before that, people would be like, when are you going to leave your job? When are you going to leave your job?
You're like, I kind of love my job.
Like, I love it, but also I knew it was in the cards. There were things happening behind the scenes. If you think that just taking a leap happens, or things like Ivory House just happen, they don't. But I actually bought a house, because I was like, if I'm going to go self-employed, there's a whole thing. You don't want to be self-employed and then buy a house. So once that was in place.
That's real.
Yes, absolutely. But you did it.
I did it.
Then I was like, I just got to do it. I think Mark, my boyfriend, was tired of hearing me talk about it, so he was like, just quit your job.
Just gonna do it.
And I was like, I quit my job. And I tried to do part-time for a little bit. And God bless them, Carol, I'm sure she's watching. They were like, we know you're passionate. Just go do this. Don't forget about us. So it has been almost 2 months. It has been a very busy 2 months. I've learned a ton about myself and about the community and about baking in 2 months. And it just keeps growing.
So and that's just going to continue on and on. What's something I really appreciate about Brittney, that is first of all, you're so consistent. You always respond to things. And I know that gets harder and harder as you get more and more. Like your email inbox gets bigger, and your text messages get bigger. And then you look at the end of the day after you've been baking and piping for hours, and you're like, how do I ever respond to all of this? But I think the most exciting thing, and one of the things I love, is that Brittney always shows up for your community. Like every time I asked you to do several things thus far, and she's like, yeah, I'll be there, when? I'm like, oh my God, thank you. And you're such a huge supporter of others. Like I learned about Pure Barre from you. I also went to Pure Barre and get my booty kicked. Those girls know how to work out.
I just came from Pure Barre.
Oh, did you?
I
was going to say, you look amazing. Because I was like a red disaster after that. I mean, I felt like I earned it though. But I feel like baking cookies all day, you kind of need your
absolutely.
physical outlet in order to keep the world in balance. So you said that you learned a lot about yourself So can you share some
For
of the
sure.
things that you've
I
learned?
would say time management has been the biggest struggle. Just because I can do something self-employed doesn't mean I should. Like,
Yeah.
I could take a Pure Barre class randomly at 11:30 in the middle of the day, but does that make any sense to stop my baking, go
Yeah.
out? No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So keeping structure within my day,
Yes.
eating meals.
Oh, that's the
I've
hardest
never
thing.
skipped a meal in my life, but I was like, oh, I'll snack here, I'll snack there. No,
Yeah.
terrible, bad things happen.
Yeah.
And just being more
I
intentional.
just get really hangry.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just like
it's a
live
thing.
in hanger.
Yes. Or then being like, I'm surrounded by cookies and I haven't eaten, so then the blood sugar. Anyway,
It has a moment.
it does,
Yeah.
and then it goes away. So that kind of stuff. And being more intentional about what I say yes to and say no to.
Yes.
And
It's amazing that you're already starting to see those things like in the first 2 months, because I think it took me like 2 years. So, what about baking? What's your biggest baking learn so far?
I'm getting faster. I have learned to literally stop and smell the dough.
Yeah.
Cookie dough smells so good. I whiff almond extract like it's a drug because I have to stop and be like, this is still awesome.
Yeah.
If it's not something I love doing, then why would I be doing it? So,
Yeah.
but I am, while I appreciate it, still getting a lot faster at it and figuring out how to structure my days. I'm not a wake up and bake person. I'm a wake up and answer emails and do orders and do grocery shopping person. So
Yeah.
just figuring that out.
I think our pull quote from today is stop and smell the dough, because like that can mean so many things.
That's true.
I like it. So one of the things that Brittney has brought into my life, other than a lot of cookies, is this what is it? Metaphor,
Sure,
right?
yeah.
Called "Don't Lose Your Dinosaur." So if you saw the photo for Wednesdays with Whitney today, she has a dinosaur tattooed on her foot. His name is Ralph. He's a brontosaurus. First rebellious act.
Oh,
my God.
first and only rebellious act.
First
when I
one
was
that
22,
ever happened. There was no other rebellious acts before that, Mom. And so you told us about, there was a group of us together and you told us about your dinosaur. Can you tell
Yes.
us about your dinosaur?
Yes. So my dinosaur is from the movie Step Brothers. At the end of the movie, Robert, who is the dad, says, when I was growing up, I was roaming around the backyard pretending to be a dinosaur. And when I was about 17, my dad came out and said, stop being a dinosaur, go get a job. So he became a doctor, and when he went back as an adult to be a dinosaur, he couldn't remember how. He had lost it. So he's telling his kids, never lose your dinosaur. And for some reason, this imprinted on college Brittney's brain. I've also seen Step Brothers like over 100 times. So
That's the
yeah.
go-to movie.
Absolutely. So when I was in Vegas, when I was 22 with my best friend and my dad, it was like 10 a.m. Vince Neil Inc. of Motley Crue was
10
on the
a.m..
strip. There were some mimosas involved, but the guy was like, it's not up to me to police what somebody wants on their body. So I got a dinosaur on my foot because I never want to lose my dinosaur. So one, I literally can't. Here he
Yes.
is forever. And
He walks with you.
Yes, he does. And even through other full-time jobs and college, I was still always baking and always remember, like, that was my thing. That was my passion. I can't
Yeah.
explain why, but it just is. It's something I do on my days off. It's just my thing.
So now that baking is not only your dinosaur but your full-time job, how does that change your dinosaur?
He's fading a little bit. He needs touched up.
The actual dinosaur?
But yes,
Or is that a metaphor for
the
life?
actual dinosaur. No, I still love bake. It actually like is just fueling the creative fire. I now think of cookies that I want to do. I've met and followed some other really awesome cookie decorators here in Des Moines, and they just make me want to be better at what I do. Make some more interesting pies. Who knows what's next? But the dinosaur is not fading or changing. He's just growing. Ralph's
Yeah.
getting bigger.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Ralph's
growing
getting
up.
bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe Ralph is gonna have to have little like dino babies.
The top of your foot is a really painful place. to
Okay,
get
so we're
attacked.
not gonna do that.
We'll just
because-
draw them on. We'll Sharpie them.
Yeah, I think we need to start taking Ralph to different like sunset beaches and
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
coloring.
He can be on the moon.
I might be in charge of that. If you have an idea of where we should send Ralph, let us know. Thank you, Brittney.
Thank you,
for
Whitney.
being
And
on
for my
Wednesdays with
cookies.
Me. Oh my gosh, I know
I'm gonna
you
finish
just take
eating
those
it.
home.
Good.
I devoured mine while we were chatting because Brittney was doing most of the talking, which is why I love hosting because I get to eat the food. And we will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.